the year, it always is a struggle. But don't worry, we've got some experts in the building. We're going to lend a helping hand with our experts. We're talking about a registered psychological counselor, Kumo Apane, in the building, as well as transformational coach Diane Hill. Ladies, how are we doing this morning?
Very well, thank you.
I see the energy, I see the glow, so clearly the year hasn't been too hectic, or somehow you have a great system. Are we including me time in our systems?
We have to.
I love that. Well, that explains it all. Let's talk about this. Why is me time so important for our well-being and our mental health? I know it's a loaded question. I know we can talk for days, but somehow if you can highlight the importance for me, bring it on and let's convince some Zanzi to get involved in this.
Well, I mean, it's, first of all, the word me time is a very tricky word for a lot of people because we feel so guilty for actually asking for the time, right? So we live in a world that's demanding of our time and energy, and we're at this tug of war of actually thinking, should I give myself this, or should I feel guilty that I have to actually use this time for myself? And I think for me, the most important thing, and the most important reason why it's important to create me time is that when you actually take the time to slow down and relax, what happens is that your brain actually releases or triggers a relaxation response, right? And that helps to release chemicals in our bodies that makes us feel happy, that creates that mental energy, that makes us feel like we have actually capacity to do more. So outside of doing that, people are more prone to feeling very exhausted, very run down. We're in this busy, we can't slow down, or we feel like we're not allowed to slow down. And that can actually create a stressful time in our body where we actually cannot reset. And so your nervous system is always just hyperactive, and that could lead to so many other health factors, like being chronically sick or even long-term mental health illness, right? So outside of doing that, our bodies actually cannot be able to survive in the long term. Our brain is not created to be in this buzz without needing to pause and rest.
Wow, it's like we're literally going against the grain, challenging our natural affinity, and at the same time, you already convinced me. I don't want any of that. I don't want the diseases. I don't want the issues that come with it. I want my immune system. I want my body to be able to fight this. You spoke about some of these benefits. Maybe you can share more in terms of what other benefits can we actually sort of tap into when it comes to creating me time for ourselves, and how do we gain that personal well-being through it?
Well, before I talk about the benefits, I wanted to say that I want to allude to what Kumo said. There's a lot of confusion about what me time is. We live in this busy society. We live as if stress and busyness, we wear it like a badge of honor. And then actually sort of we shoehorn a bit of me time in, like 10 minutes here, go for a run, 10 minutes here, go for a coffee or whatever. That's not me time. Me time is actually deliberately and intentionally carving out time for yourself so you can bring yourself, the best version of yourself, to the world. And one of my favorite quotes about self-care and self-love is that it's bringing the best of yourself instead of giving the world what's left.
I love that.
And that's so key. So it's about filling your cup. You can't actually give the world the best of yourself if you're depleted, you're stressed, you're exhausted, you're kind of in this energy of obligation, and you're giving and giving and giving. You are going to burn out.
How do you serve from an empty cup?
You can't.
100%. So let's be practical about this, because I know, obviously, after that intro, everyone's convinced on, OK, I'm going to include me time. How do we do this, though? How do we positively include me time? Because there can also be potential negative me time, not discussions, but practices. And then there's the positive ones that bring on all these good emotions and these good endorphins. How do we get into the positive side of things? How do we incorporate that into our life?
I think the mistake that we always make is that we think me time is only about spending time with yourself, right? So spending time with your loved ones is energy that actually makes you feel good,
it's enriching.
Right?
Yeah, that's
exactly.
True.
It just allows you to express yourself fully, and that's what you want. And so the negative or the bad spending time by yourself is those squeezing some, let me just pop an email, right, while you want to do your self-time, or let me actually catch up with some laundry, when you actually need to step aside and actually attend to what you need. And so the stress of feeling like we're going to miss out on the time actually doesn't tell us that we can make up for that when we actually give ourselves completely that time, when we actually have more the energy and all the time that we can actually do when we're actually fully engaged in the activity, right? And so it can include your reading to your kids, right? And so how do I actually change the scenery and go to a different location altogether? Nature really speaks to me personally. And I know that for a lot of people is that, let me just take a moment, be in my body and actually reset my nervous system, right? Because when you're actually doing that, you're releasing those feel-good hormones. So dopamine, that I'm connected to myself, I have a purpose, and it allows you time to really think deeply, because we can't be problem solving when we're always in that constant buzz, right? So it's things like, how do I actually read a book and spend time with myself, or take a walk and exercise? As we saw earlier, those stretches, it actually really helps you to actually regulate and help your body to reset. So I would definitely say spending time with loved ones definitely does that, but actually finding things that bring you joy. Diane mentioned it has to be something that you know energizes you and that speaks to you. And people hardly know what that is anymore, because we don't take the time to self-explore and self-discover.
Yeah, I'd love to add on to that. You know, we are all unique individuals, and what fills one person's cup is going to be very different to your mother, your sister, your best friend, your husband. We're all very different, and we need to take the time to really discover what fills us up, what lights us up inside. Just because everyone's doing the latest exercise craze and you don't really want to do it, don't just go and do that because you want to be with the gang, you know, it's a brand new thing. Actually, you've got to be really go within and listen to what your needs are. And as you said, it is about spending time with loved ones, but I really believe it's about intentionally, deliberately curating this time for yourself, reminding yourself it's not selfish, it's actually essential. And then everyone gets to kind of benefit from this happier, more fulfilled version of you.
Well, I love that. Diana Kuma, thank you so much for providing your expertise to our panel this morning. Of course, Mzansi, if you want more of this, and you can find them online, reach out to these incredible women. They are ready to serve, ready to give you the time of day that you need to help you with your system. And of course, for you, Mzansi, this is also an incredible opportunity to not only prioritize you, but you can also win in the process. And it's time to elevate your space with a chance to win one of 10 bathroom makeovers worth 30,000 Rand each, and that's courtesy of Twin Saver. It's really simple. Just visit